do that. You're
Yeah.
on. You're on, Brian.
All right, sir. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone on this beautiful, beautiful night. And I am so happy that I see right in front of me. You know who I see, don't you? Yeah, he's laughing already. That's my boy. He's here. Now I can go on with the night. Eric, if I when I do these again, think of it this way. You still need to show up. Maybe I'll change some things here and there in the presentations, but just like you would go see you go see the Rolling Stones twice, or you go see Led Zeppelin twice, or a band that you like. So even if you've seen all my presentations, Eric, you must show up again, just because you're my comfort zone.
So I must be. So I'm officially a groupie now.
Yeah, not no, not really that. Just a devoted audience member. There you go.
Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. Play Freebird. All right, we have the cool down, and as Chad was saying, yes, even though we're not really done yet, we all know we're not done yet. We are at least approaching that elusive finish line. And when we get there, the first thing I want you guys to do, which I hope is understood and left, I don't need to do an activity with it, is you got to decompress a little bit. Give yourself a chance to exhale. Don't jump right in and and start doing crazy things. First, you got to just say, hey, I did it, awesome, and just breathe, and take a few days, whatever it takes, just to kind of get yourself back into kind of kickback mode, so to speak. All right, now as we move forward, we've seen this before, and Chad goes over how we're able to do these and where the benefits come from and so forth. My pedagogy has never changed. I need you guys with me to have this make any kind of impact. If I'm just a sage on the stage, so to speak, then we're not going to get a whole lot out of it. I don't teach that way to my teenagers, and I don't like presenting to adults that way. So the more you can help, the more we're going to get out of it. The rationale. I mean, anyone that's done any of these knows the rationale. We need a plan. I have a new teacher next door to me this year, and she has no plan, and she knows she doesn't, and she feels, and she's drowning right now, and I'm helping and I'm working with her, but she is basically thrown into the waters of teaching without even knowing how to swim yet. So you got to have a plan. I wish she would have had one from someone else before she got there, because she's been struggling, but I'm doing my best, and I'm going to see if I can get her through this school year. All right, have a plan. Now, wait till you see this. Those that have been with me all the way through, look at all the work you've done. And I want you to give yourselves a pat on the back. Every time you and I meet, there are 3 key components that I want you to take away from it. What you do with them then is up to you. That's why I make you these notebooks. First thing was the purpose. You can't go after something if you don't know what you're shooting for in the first place. Then, probably one of the hardest ones you guys have done with me, because we're humans, is clarity. Quit letting your mind wander. Stop it, and stay in the right now. And release, very simply, cut the crap out of your life. Life's too short. If it doesn't provide you happiness or joy, I don't know why you're holding on to it. So that was our first meeting. Our second one, the bike session, your 3 key things were: be proactive. Whenever possible, do not get caught on your heels. Will it happen? Yes, it's life, but some things can be avoided. So when you can, be proactive about those things. By doing so, then have an analysis of what you don't want to get caught on your heels with, and be ready to know what you want to continue functioning if something happens, a breakdown. And we did some workout, we did a plan of action with that, which was the next one. Plan. When you've chosen what you want to work, if you have gotten knocked on your high knee, then have a solid plan of action to get things rolling again. Don't just hope it's going to occur. So that was our second meeting. Our third meeting, which was the run session, was as silly as it sounds. It's, sometimes the simplest concepts are the most important. And to survive any occupation, much less education, you need to have the proper fuel. If you have the energy bonk and you get, you're not giving yourself proper nutrients nor hydration, you're not giving yourself the best benefits to get through the school day, much less the school year. So it's always helpful to kind of take a look at what we're shoving in our mouths, so to speak, and see if it's making us feel better or not. Illuminate, we talked about stay out of the dark place. And when you get there, because we're all going to enter it here and there, have a bright rescue beacon, whatever it is, to claw your way out of there, whether it's music, whether it's exercise, whether it's a loved one, whether who knows what it is, but you need to have it and get out. And then finally, the core, get to the core. Oftentimes when we hit those dark places, something's really getting to us. And sometimes it can be really helpful to just get around the peripheral and get to the meat of it. What is the true core problem? Because nothing's going to be fixed or addressed until you take care of where the root is. Everything else will be superficial, and it's just going to keep occurring over and over again. So that's what we've done. And I hope you guys are proud, because that is a lot of work, and you've done a lot of work, and we've done a lot of thinking. We've done a lot of sharing, and we've been very honest. And I expect that tonight's going to be no different. And there's one workout coming your way tonight that is going to blow the roof off honesty if you allow yourself to do so. I can't make you do it, but you'll see. It's coming. All right, our warm up. You have some meme pictures, everything from Snoop Dogg to Patrick Starr to Steve Carell. Anyway, you are going to have 4 minutes, and there'll be music playing while you do it. So you'll know when the music stops. I'm going to be asking for you to share what I want you to do. And I did a model for you in your notebook that you should have. You're going to write, and you're going to be just like you're going to have a claim. So my claim for what you're doing with these pictures is which picture matches up for how you feel or your past week with work or education, with your job. So mine, I chose the Leonardo DiCaprio one. So my claim is this past week, my meme logo would be Leonardo's eye roll. And then my evidence is humanity, regardless of the age, never ceases to amaze me. And my reasoning for the eye roll is, as I've scrolled through stories of this and that, this past week, yes, I've seen this, and it is happening. For example, school libraries are removing books that have flatulence in it. Moreover, a principal has been fired in Mississippi for doing a read aloud with a character that farts to second graders. The kids loved it, but yet he had to be removed. And my eyes are rolling because I'm thinking of the world today. And I'm like, this is what we got time for. This is what's going to make our world better. It is going to be taken away. But so I guess we got to get rid of Shakespeare too, because he has flatulence all over his stories. So anyway, mine's the eye roll. You might find it silly, but really it defies logic to me. And that would be my week in education. My kids have been great. They're hyper, but they're great. So it's nothing in education in my classroom. It's more of the state of education broadly for my little sharing. So you'll pick a meme. You'll have 4 minutes, and you will do your little short writing. And then I'll ask some of you to share when we come back. So I'm going to stop share because Chad's going to put music on, and you will have 4 minutes to do your warm up with the meme. So I stop share, Chad, if you can, or if you're able to. There you go. Cool. Yep. All right, awesome. So I was thinking, where's my, hold on a second. Here we go. And then I will share again. And here we go. I was thinking as I was just watching some people, doing this and so forth and thinking about it, this would be really kind of funny for me to take what they say, their names aren't on it, and actually put their sayings to the faces and just start taping them up around my school. Like the one lady who said, I have it's the Gordon Ramsay one, when I get asked to not only do a reading and writing workshop, but they add math to it too. So I think that would be pretty illuminating for a lot of people walking to see these memes and how teachers are actually feeling. I think it'd be kind of funny, but anyway, regardless, we are here and I'm curious, I am going to start with, oh no, you don't know, but I'm going to start with Sarah if she is available. Sarah Lester, are you there? Sarah going once, Sarah going twice, Sarah going three. Sarah is, I don't know where Sarah is. So I will try, how about Melissa? Melissa, you usually come through for me. There you, hi Melissa, thank you so much.
Hi there, how are you?
Good, you made that, it helps me out great, because you know how I feel sometimes? You ever seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off? What? Bueller?
Yes.
Crickets. Bueller?
Well, yeah, I hear you. I've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings for the special ed meetings, and I am very peeved when people don't turn on their cameras. So I am starting to ask them to turn on their cameras because I mean, they should just introduce themselves. I want to see what location they're at. I've, heard stories from colleagues that a parent was in a waiting room doing a Zoom with the teacher, and the teacher was talking and explaining everything, and it's a waiting room full of people listening. So, I want to see. So I get it. I think it's professional to try to, if you can.
So
even
what
just
picture did
to
you
say,
do? What picture
I
you
did
got?
David from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, I love that show. And what did you?
Yes, me too. And then I have to find what I said.
You can
Basically,
paraphrase.
the problem I had this week was when the ninth graders, they're not doing their work and they have really, really lame excuses.
Mhm.
And I think that's probably my look, I would think, because I'm always shocked at some of the silly things they say.
Yeah.
And the quote would be very uninterested in that opinion, but I'm really thinking don't be a little bee. But of course, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't say that, but
that picture goes perfect. I could see, I'm sure a lot of us have made that face. That's
yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much. Eric, what
Or
picture-
I'm gonna need a
Oh.
stiff drink to get through this. That's always a good one too.
You St. Pat's Chad said St. Patrick's. I won't judge you. If you guys just start tipping them back, I won't say anything. Anyway,
Yeah.
Eric, what picture you got?
Not to be real cheesy or anything, but Patrick, just
I love SpongeBob.
being a cheerleader, and that's how this week has gone with Monday and Tuesday with students that are just kind of struggling with their presentations and just kind of cheering them on and
Yeah.
hey, you need to do it. And then I've got teachers. I'm at the McCall conference right now.
Oh.
So I can't stay too long tonight, but I'm just going to other teachers and going to their sessions and supporting them and cheering them on.
Awesome. Where is that in Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Eric, you can't leave me tonight, but I don't care that there's a conference. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You got me for a little while at least.
You're gonna throw my equilibrium off. Is Jason around? Jason Harvey? Jason.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good.
What picture
I-
you got?
I also picked Dan Levy up there in the top
right.
left. Just the repulsiveness. I've been hearing a lot of just nasty comments at this point in the year. It's kind of got like the Twitter pated Bambi reference kind of this spring, and I'm just a little bit over it. A little bit over it.
Absolutely. I hear you. Yeah. I try to stay, and I usually do very much. There was one yesterday. I try as much as possible. Twitter, just like everything else, social media, everyone has an opinion and everyone thinks that, I guess, that I care what their opinion is when I don't. And sometimes their opinions tempt me on Twitter. Like one yesterday was someone talking about something about homework and generalizing how we all give too much homework. And my first initial thing was, wait a second, you don't know me. But then I was like, just let it, because this is what people do to make themselves happy. So I just let it go. But I get it. I understand, sir. 110%.
Well, I'm not talking about Twitter. The Bambi reference of when all the animals are in the rut,
Yep.
and they're all getting ready. Well, that's what I'm seeing at the high school level right now.
All
I'm
right.
just
Oh,
grossed out.
So it's in yep, it's in. Well, good. Then don't go. You'll get even angrier if you start looking at some of the things that are being posted right now. So steer clear. One more. I'm going to see if I don't think I've ever met this lady here. If she's here, Kathleen Wilds, are you here? Kathleen.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi, Kathleen. How are you?
I'm good.
I don't think I've met you.
No, I've been here each time.
I don't ever remember seeing this avatar. I would
Oh,
remember.
really?
No, all right. Well, regardless.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Now I get to talk to you.
Okay.
What picture did you pick, and then kind of paraphrase why?
The baby in the middle, because I have a new course I'm teaching 11th grade, and I honestly don't know what I'm doing.
I have got Chad, I'm telling you, this is I got to remember this. I might have to show my staff this. Can you imagine these being blown up and put around the school? This would be hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Good conversation starters for sure.
All right. So as we move on, I want to thank you all first for doing that. I appreciate that greatly, just to get ourselves warmed up. So your 3 biggies. Every time we've met, there are 3 biggies. There are 3 workouts, and we will get through each one of them, and hopefully you'll get something out of at least one of them. That's my hope. That's my hope. The cool down session is, let's pretend we've made it. I know we haven't, but let's just pretend, and we are closer than we were before. So 140.6 miles later, or months later, we've crossed the finish line, or we're about to. Okay. And as Chad referenced, I don't know if he read what I have here, or he's just that smart of a man, or he is a Jedi master. But really, in my head, the starting line is just the true beginning of my next journey. I said decompress, I said breathe, I said congratulate yourself and do things for you. But really, when I cross the finish line, usually the first thing I'm thinking about is which one I'm doing next. What do I want to do next? That's just the way my brain works. But definitely give yourself a break and relax and congratulate yourself on doing the hardest job on the planet, except maybe being president. Other than that, I think teaching's got it. All right, here we go. First one tonight is perspective. It's all about the view, and let's try on some new shoes. All right. Take a gander at the very quick hitter for research, and I want you to pick something that hits the nail on the head for you that helps this make sense about perception or perspective. Excuse me. And if she's around, if she's ready, I'd like to see what Angela makes of this little excerpt of research here that I have about perspective.
Good evening. How are you?
Hi, Angela. How are you?
I am good, thank you.
It's
The
nice. What do you
sorry.
make of that?
the very first sentence: one individual's life skill we can hope to attain is the ability to change our viewpoint or perspective. I
And
think
why
as
is
a
that?
teacher, it's hard with everything changing and everything new. I think the more we get set in our ways of teaching, the harder it is for us to, well, I'd say it's not us, me, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna generalize, is to sometimes change my perspective on my way might not be the best way. And maybe I should try the new ways that are given to me
And
and be more open sometimes at trying it, even though I think that I might be the best at what I'm doing because it works for me. Maybe another perspective might work even better if I gave it a chance.
or it might mesh with yours and you might be able to come up with something that's a combo platter of, you never know. My favorite
Exactly.
part, and then thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I like the part in the middle there from the co-director at the University of Minnesota, David W. Johnson, where he says, I'm just paraphrasing in the middle there, perspective taking is an often ignored constructive problem solving tool. And what I think he means by that, at least what I'm making sense of it, is this. By looking at other perspectives, you might be able to solve problems you're having that you didn't know how to solve. So let's say you have a student that's driving you absolutely insane. Flip the script and be that student in their setting and see if you can go back to last week's workout and get to the core issue, which probably has nothing to do with your classroom per se, and then start working from there. By changing the perspective and not making it about us or you or whomever, and about where the issue is coming from, it can be enlightening. So it's just a thought. Now, we're going to do that. On this page right here, you're going to be first, and I always do these workouts with you, and I share my thoughts, so you know, because I always ask you guys to share, so I will be as honest as ever. So when I minimize my screen like that, you know I'm getting ready to put in text boxes for me because I'm working with you. But what you're going to do here is you're going to get 3 minutes, and I'll put it on my clock here. And what you're doing is trying to fill in these bubbles. And what you're doing, imagine you're a parent of a child who's in your class or was in your class, and maybe, but I'm going to do for kids that are in my class this year. As a parent, answer those 3 questions, not as you, but as a parent of a child in your class, and try your best to put yourself in their shoes. Okay. So I won't make Chad do the music this time. I'll just put on 3. I'll tell you when you got a minute left because I'm going to be working with you. Here we go. 1:30 left. Okay, 1 minute.
This is a great activity, Brian. I'm really interested to see what folks are gonna share
can
with
be-
this one.
It can be illuminating, that's for sure. All right, as you guys are finishing up, you got like 30 left, but just to get mine out of the way so you know, so I'm sharing with you. So I'm a parent. I'll be a mom. And the mom, what she wants for her child in my class this year is she wants her child to have a safe and enjoyable educational experience. What does she think seems kind of awesome about my class? And she goes, my gosh, there are balance balls everywhere. The guy doesn't even have any desks. There's all balance balls. This room looks like a gym. And then, do I have any worries about this class? Well, since Mr. Dalton doesn't have any desks, is this class going to be a disorganized mess? Which wouldn't mesh with the blue circle because she wants her child to have a great educational experience. And if it's a disorganized mess and if she's worried about it, maybe that wouldn't happen. But that is me putting myself in what a parent might think when they walk into my room for the first time. All right. That being said, is Michelle Payne anywhere around?
Yep, right here.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well, thank you. All right. You're a parent and they are a parent of a child that's in your class. Be the parent. What do you think this parent wants for your child or their child?
Well, it's a parent that wants a positive climate.
Positive climate. Okay. The parents looking at your room right now, what do you think they're going to think is really cool?
All the books I have that I get from the library for read alouds.
Okay. What worries, if any, do you think they might have by coming to your room for the first time?
Well, I think for this parent, a worry that the child was doing virtual school for kindergarten.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right.
And he didn't grasp the beginning skills of letters and sounds.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, that's gonna be rough. So,
Yeah, it's rough.
well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
How about Heidi? Is Heidi around? Heidi Wilton, going once, going twice. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi. How about Hannah, Hannah, Hannah? Is Hannah around? Hannah Learmont.
Yes, I am.
Hello, Hannah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. All right, you're a parent now. What do you think? And you envision a student, so whomever it is, what do you think this parent wants from this class for their child?
They want a safe environment and one that's fun for the kid to learn in.
Okay, they're looking at your room. What's awesome? What do you love about your room?
I have Dr. Seuss stuff everywhere and it's very colorful, so it's very engaging.
Oh, all right. All right. Do you have any worries about this classroom?
The biggest thing would be I'm a new teacher and I'm very young, so when they'd walk in, they might worry that I don't know what I'm doing.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Awesome. All right. And one more. Is Phil around? Phil Cam? Phil going once, Phil going twice, Phil going. How about Alicia? Alicia Moore going once, Alicia Moore going twice, Alicia Moore going three. How about Karen Andrews going once, Karen Andrews going twice?
Hello, I'm here.
Karen, how are you?
I've had a really rough day, so this
You
was
ha-
a good
Oh,
good thing to be doing.
I'm sorry to hear that, Karen, but let's hear it. Let's hear it. So you're a parent now of a child in your class. What do they want out of this class for their child?
I teach young fives, so the parents want a good first experience in school. Some of them haven't been in school.
Okay.
For my child, I want them to learn how to write their name, and I want them to learn how to love books and how to read.
Awesome. All right, you're looking at this room right now. What is really cool about this class?
This class looks like a messy child's bedroom.
It might not be a bad. That's where a lot of creativity happens. When the messier, sometimes the more activity, the more creativity that's going on. That could be an awesome thing. All right.
Absolutely.
Do you have any worries about this class?
Well, I've heard the teacher's been there a while, so is she getting? No, just kidding. I don't really think I have many worries because out in the community, I've heard good things about the program. I've heard good things about former students that have come out of it.
Okay.
But they do come home singing some pretty silly songs sometimes.
All right.
So I worry about that.
Oh, well. I think we need more silliness, quite honestly. All right. So now look at the next page. You get 3 minutes again. Now you're jumping in one more pair of shoes for me. And those shoes are of a student who is in your class right now, or in a past class if you don't have any students right now. So you're talking as the child. So I'll be speaking as a 14-year-old boy in this case. I'll pick one of my boys. Is this a classroom I feel comfortable in? Then the purple is, what is my favorite part of this class? And then the hardest one, if there's anything, be honest with yourself. What makes learning difficult in this class for me, if anything? Okay, or a challenge. So I will stop share because I got to work with you. Or not stop share. I meant to minimize it. That's what I meant. Sorry. There's that. Let's go back. There. All right. So I get to work with you 3 minutes. I got the clock going. You are a student now in your class. $130. One minute. All right, you're at about 30 left, and this is, so I'll start sharing just so, and when we get to 3, then you guys will have your turn. So I am a 14-year-old boy in my class. Is this a classroom I feel comfortable in? Well, duh, heck yes, I love Mr. D. I would like to think, and I could be completely wrong, but I doubt it. I think most of my kids, and I have an idea of why, are comfortable in my room. What's cool or awesome about the, whatever I wrote it for the purple, what's cool about this, or what's my favorite part of this class? He said, no day is ever the same. He makes learning super fun and he gamifies pretty much everything. Plus we work out all the time. And this is an English class. So yes, we do have days like today. They were a little hyper, so it was beautiful out. So we went out and did sprints. And then they were calm. So I have no problems working out for 5 minutes to get them back into classroom functioning here. Finally, what makes learning difficult at times in his class, if anything? I said, well, he said, sometimes the class can get a little or a lot loud, making concentration difficult. I own up to that 100%. I agree with it. My room can get pretty loud sometimes because like we are very gamified. We do a lot of movement, a lot of things. And I get, for a student that is that student maybe that likes to sit and kind of be in their own little quiet zone, my room would probably be very uncomfortable. If you've ever done true colors, my room is probably geared towards a blue and orange, whereas gold's probably I drive nuts. And that's just, you know, it's just the way it is. Everyone's different. So, but I am aware of it. And when they have things like quizzes or assessments or whatnot, I work very hard to get it back to acclimated to a much quieter setting. I know my weakness as a classroom, and that's it. There's no doubt about it. All right. How about, nope, go back here. All right. How about, is Angela here? I don't know if did I talk to no, I did talk to Angela already, but it doesn't mean I won't come back to her, but I would like to meet someone new. Is Lisa around Gotham? I know that name. I've met her before. I know that.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Lisa?
Good.
Well,
Okay.
all right. It's nice to see you.
You too.
You are a student. So the blue, whoever this student is, do they feel comfortable in your room?
So I wrote, yes, the teachers always use it in a kind voice and is fun. The students are also very nice to me.
Okay.
Try to make things fun. And, yep.
What is the favorite part of the class for them?
When Mrs. Gotham reads aloud, they love this. I love the stories she reads to us.
I used to love carpet time. Love it. Or if they even still do that, I don't know. What makes learning difficult in this class, if anything?
Okay, I'm lacking some math skills and I wish Mrs. Gotham had more time to help me. So as a teacher, I get frustrated. It's just not enough time in the day and too many kids. And
no, I hear you, but you're aware of it and the heart's in the right place, but heart and reality sometimes don't necessarily match up, but that's all. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. That's awesome. How about, Kimberly, is she around? Kimberly Jeske? Kimberly, going once, Kimberly, twice, Kimberly. Then I'll move on to, how about Kelly? I recognize this name. Kelly Halsey? Kelly. All right. Oh, there she is. Hold on. All right, Kelly. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Oh, you got your microphone's really echoey. So, do you have? So yeah, your microphone, it's hard to hear you. So instead of me looking like I'm in pain trying to hear it, I'll trust that something was illuminating when you did this activity, but try it now. Now your face isn't glitching. Try, Kelly, say something. Kelly, try saying something one more time.
She's actually put something in the chat right now.
Oh, she did?
Brian. Yeah. So check your chat.
Oh, okay. Oh, good idea, Kelly. Is this a room I feel comfortable in?
I'm gonna try.
No, it's not a room that they feel comfortable in. Now try the purple, Kelly. What would they like or favorite part of your class? Oh, one-on-one time. Awesome. I agree. That can be awesome. It can be very helpful. And there are no other kids in the room. Yep. What makes learning difficult, if anything, in Mrs. Hulse's room? I come to school tired most of the time and I read at reading at a lower level, and it's hard for them to learn being at a lower level. And if you're tired, you've already lost the battle. So, all right. And you teach fourth grade. Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that, Kelly. And way to go to plan B. I love it. Plan B's. And you reminded me of the chat box. I forgot all about the chat box. All right. Awesome. So now we're at our reflection here. And the point was, it can be helpful to look at different viewpoints. So Chad has, for example, a good example would be when Chad is working with politicians and whatnot and people in the union area. Sometimes I'm sure you got to put yourself in many different perspectives, and from a teacher's perspective, from the student's perspective that we're and this is important for everybody, and it can be helpful for no matter what your job is, quite honestly. But what you're going to do here is, I hope you'll do, I'm crossing my fingers. You're going to get 3 minutes in a breakout. And I would love you guys to share with each other what you think. Now it's your own opinion. Best thing about your class and one area, if any, you can improve. And you're doing this based off of what you got from the perspectives of the parent and the child. By doing that, your answers should come pretty easily. What it would be the best thing about your class and one area that you probably could improve, if any. And I'd love you guys to share that with each other, to actually talk to each other. So Chad, I'm going to stop my share, and they're going to get 3 minutes in their breakout to truly discuss those 2 bullets.
All right. And so you're going to be in a group of about 3 to 4 people. And so make sure you accept that chat. If you're driving, obviously we understand that. So no worries. Stay on the road. And so we're going to be in there for about 3 to 4 minutes. So that means we're coming back at 6:50 p.m., at least on my clock. It may not be correct, but in 4 minutes from now. And I will open that room 3 minutes. You got it. 3. It's still 6:50. Okay. Those rooms are going to be opening in 3, 2, 1. See you back here real soon.
I changed my mind looking at the clock. Our time disappears. So
this is so far, this is one of my favorite sessions so far, Brian. I just gotta let you know.
Thank you. Well, to also, as you go, I mean, I've had to get used to you get your groove, so to speak, and there's some things that I know that work well, and I know there's some things that don't, based on being online and whatnot. And so you kind of, if I went back and did all of them again, I've already changed things on all of them that I think what works well and what needs to be a little bit adjusted. It's like your classroom. You never do anything the same because there's always room for improvement. So.
I was very lonely, Chad, in my room. I was in room 9.
Oh, then I'll chat with you, Heather.
There we go.
I've always open. So tell me the best thing that you would think is about your classroom after reflecting as a parent and as a child.
There's a lot of cooperative learning opportunities. The kids are constantly up moving, stand up, hand up, think, pair, share. Every 5 minutes you're moving around. I teach middle school, so without movement, I'd lose them.
I'm with you. What, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade?
7th grade, ancient history.
And what district?
Romeo.
Oh, you're not far from me. You're
Yeah.
not far from me. Yeah. What about from, the parent and then the child's perspective? What's one area that you think probably that could be improved upon?
I think I really need to add more projects. Like
Okay.
when you're covering from the dawn of time to, the Aztecs, it makes it really hard. So it just, most times I'm focusing on like practice I'm getting ready for 8th grade, but I think I really need to add more projects to it.
Well, I can tell you right now, I know my wife teaches in Farmington,
Okay.
and she has history as well. But she used to have English and she used to have math. I've never seen her have to plan so much. There's so much in history. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
So I tell her the same thing I'll tell you. Don't be a strand hound. And what I mean by that is don't think you have to get through every bullet, because you probably won't.
Yeah.
Or you could, but that doesn't mean you taught it. It just means that you got to it. So
And that was,
find those big things that you could hook them on, and do a project. I mean, the Aztecs, those guys, Incas, Mayas, that's some cool stuff.
the Silk Road, the Romans. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely. Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry you had to talk to me. I know.
Oh, no problem. I just thought I'd come here just in case you wanted to send me out to another room, but I'm not going to sit there going.
I will talk. I'll talk to anybody. I will talk to anybody.
I know.
It looks like and then Lisa's here. All right, so they're coming back, it looks like, and then I'm going to ask a couple people what they heard here.
30 seconds until everyone's back, Brian.
All right. Lisa, just so you're ready and aware, since I can see you right now and I don't have to do the whole Ferris Bueller thing, I'm coming to you first, so be ready. And I love that room. You've used that room before, Lisa. I like the window. You got a nice, I see the window. I remember those windows. That's a cool room.
Thank you. It's our sunroom, and it's my space I took over.
Awesome.
Love the natural light. Thank you. You too. You've got natural light coming in.
I am in the boys' den. So what we got down here is the workout area, the PlayStation area, and my music studios down here. So
awesome.
All right. So what did you after, and I'm going to I think it's Floriana or Floria. You're on deck. So be ready. After your perspective of a child and a parent about your room, what are you convinced is probably one of the strengths or best things about your room?
I don't think I've met you or everyone else, but yes, I'm Floriana. So as I told my group, I think I'm a very reflective person. I overthink a lot, so it makes me reflective. So I feel like I'm constantly reflecting on how my lesson went, what my students think of me, what my parents think of me. So I would have to say, I think the best part, like I told my group, is that I know my kids feel very loved.
Okay.
And even other kids who are not my students, I'm an EL teacher, they love coming to my room. They love it. They feel loved. They have fun in there, even if we're learning. And then where I need to improve is better collaboration with general ed teachers. I do that a lot, but incorporating what they're doing into my room as well a little bit more.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So just out of curiosity, have you ever taken the True Colors test?
I have not.
Well, take it and then get back to me. Email me. I'm going to guess you're a green.
Okay. I will. It's a True Colors test. Hold on.
For those who are unaware, I just want to let everybody know, MEA, I'm a True Colors trainer, and we come to your school and do True Colors training with your group, with your whole. So I've done it at district level. It is a fantastic training. It takes about 3 hours, and so if you haven't done it, it's a great way to understand more about yourself and how to interact with others who have different personality traits, and how they all kind of dovetail together to make a harmonious group.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much too for sharing. Lisa, best thing about your room. You're convinced of it now. What is it?
I just shared about the reading. I love to read myself, and I have 5th graders, and I will work very hard to find a book for every child. I have kids obviously who love to read, and that's great, and it's easy to find them books.
Yep.
And then those kids who just don't like to read, I search, I I use, like, there's this March Book Madness thing
Yep.
going on right now. The International Reading Association always has great kids' choice, books. And so
Well,
I
I
hear
tell
parents
my
say,
teenagers, you can steal this quote, even though yours are younger, if I remember, are younger, but everybody is one book away from being a reader. The key is, what's the
yeah,
book?
exactly.
I didn't find mine till college.
Oh,
The
okay.
first book that I truly loved was in college.
Aw,
So,
yep.
all right, what's something that maybe could be improved upon?
Probably parent communication. It's just a time thing. I just run out of time.
Yep.
So this week I actually I just started a little goal, and I sent out at least an email, just a positive thing about a student, and just check
Yep.
that off. And then a couple days I'll do another one, and just to get something out there. But it's always the time factor. I just feel bad, but
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Remember, we can't do it. You can't do it all. So that's all right. I warned you about this one. I hope you're all ready. Here we go. Training session 2 it's still about viewpoint, which is why I have the same little main title there. It's all about the view. Don't think you're doing the same one twice. This one's called The Real Me. Okay. And this one might be difficult. The research is the same, so you don't have to do anything here, but you're going on this because we're still in the perspective mode. The difference is what you're going to do with it. Okay. But I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, if you would. See this beautiful waterfall? What I'd like you to do, and do not hit enter yet. I want to do just a very simple in the chat. You're going to type for me what the word share means to you, but do not hit enter until I say go. And then our answers will go at once. And I get to watch a cool waterfall and I get to see your thoughts. So do not hit enter on the chat. Just type in the chat what the word share means to you. About 15 more seconds. And go. I love watching that. Listen and give, listen, giving, give, helping, give, collaborate, give, compromise, open. And Chad, what I do with this, if we were in person and I had more than an hour and a half, we would do a word wall, and then we would work with the word that came up the most and see why people think that that's what sharing. And I can tell you right now, give is the biggie. Give.
Yeah, giving and caring.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be interesting why that is. But anyway, that's important. And I wanted to know what you thought about it, because it can be very helpful for others if you and I actually did that to some capacity. My students do this activity the very first day that we're together. There is no syllabus. We sing and we do this. There's no syllabus for 8th grade English. There's nothing except this activity. And we sing. Why? Because when you look at what they do and what you're going to do, don't try driving the car until you check the engine. And if my engine is a wreck, then, for example, my kids aren't going to care about what a good claim or topic sentence is if what I read here, the you'd understand that, is a mess. I have to deal with the engine. Remember the core from last week or whenever? That's kind of where we're at here. It works for us too. So you're going to be doing this, and I'm going to ask and beg. You're going to get 2 minutes to fill it in, and then you're going to get a 3-minute breakout to share if you choose to. You don't have to, because I want you to be truly honest, but look it. I'll go first. I always do. Watch what I do here. Why is this important? Because people that work with me, if they knew this, they'd understand me a lot better. My kids know it. My students know it. So if you knew the real me, Chad, you'd understand that.
I'm gonna fill this out too, Brian.
All right. something like that. The premise in the beginning is the same. So my point is, let me get to it. So here, if you knew the real me, losing both parents at a young age shows me that I don't have time for BS. Our time is limited. If I don't think that you are going in a positive, strong direction, if you are a whiner, if you are someone that complains all day long about the kids or your whatever, I don't have time for it. I don't care. If you need help and you have legitimate, and I'd love to help you, but I don't deal. That's, remember when we did our first time we met, if you're with me, the third workout was release the murky depths, get rid of crap in your life. I don't have time for it. And I won't be apologetic for it either. So if you knew the real me, sometimes I might seem aloof, or I might seem that I have like a mission. I am on a mission. I'm on a mission every day because I know how short it can be. So if you knew the real me, it would make more sense of who I am, and then you would understand me better. So I'm not stuck up. I'm not aloof. I just am a man on a mission. And that would be me. So you have 2 minutes to do your part. If you truly knew the real me, you'd understand that. And then whatever you put, you put. Hopefully you'll be honest though. Another minute. All right, before I have Chad send you off and then I cross my fingers that you guys share with each other, because, you know, that's kind of the point. But if you don't, I can't make you. But let me tell you a couple of the things that I got from my students in September when I did this as the first activity. They don't have to put their names on it. So, you know, they know that if they're anonymous, but remember I said, check the engine, check the engine. Here's what I got. I got some positives, but I'll tell you right now, overall, there were more things that were enlightening that they need help with. I saw things like, if you knew the real me, you'd understand that I'm struggling with my sexuality. I had about 5 of those. If you knew the real me, you would understand that my parents are going through a divorce and it's really hard right now. If you knew the real me, you know that I have to take care of all my siblings all night, so it's hard for me to get any work done. If you knew the real me, you know that I am super anxious and oftentimes depressed. And this goes on and on and on. So my point is, you know, heart comes before learning strands, is my point. And it was very enlightening for me to see what's in the engine. So you know, that's why I don't think we did anything academic for like 2 weeks. We did all kinds of stuff, but I didn't do anything academic. I can tell you that. And I didn't do it because I checked the engine. And the engine wasn't ready for academics. All right. So Chad, when they get in there, let's go 3. Go 3. And if you guys are comfortable, share. And then I'm going to beg a couple people when you come back to share too. All right. So I'll stop share. All right.
All right, you heard the man. So you're going to be in the same groups, more or less. I had to kind of rebalance a little bit, but you will be going into those breakout rooms in 3, 2, 1.
And Chad, you don't have to, but you're going to be first if you're willing. If you're not, then don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm always game. Always game.
Do you need me to run the clock or are you good?
We went in at and at least at my clock, we went in at
right now we're
7:03.
at, yeah. So they got like,
So
give them like 3 minutes from now.
you got it.
All right.
Yeah, we've had some folks, participating in the chat as well.
Gotcha.
So,
Yep.
So it's been pretty good.
It is cool with how many times, because you never know what's going to happen. The amount of gives, and you said, what was the other one that was give comes up the most, and then cares once, help. I just like to see what people are thinking.
Mm-hmm. Do you see what I put in the chat?
Number 2.
You got it.
Probably should be around like 125 left, something like that. We're a little over halfway. No, you said 4 minutes.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at the slides. I mean, I think your timing is pretty good here so far.
The last breakout's the longest one, the Be Bold one. So I want to make sure they get a chance to truly share and work together, because that's a long one.
Okay.
Longer. We'll use what we got.
Okay. Well, I'll be concise on my example, and then you can.
Oh, you do. I want to hear everything you got to share. Before they come back, I wanted to let you know, because it seems like you might be a fan. My oldest son went. He said the new Batman is phenomenal.
That's what I've been hearing. Yes, I've heard that that's been pretty good. And I'm since I guess it was what's the vampire movie?
Twilight. That's what Twilight. I thought.
Yeah. Like he's a good actor, so I'm curious to see what he does in this role. All right,
it's a little long and dark, but very good.
Well, I'm kind of, I'm all for like a little bit more of a dark superhero. I think that's the one thing that Batman has been doing well, is keep it a little bit dark. I think that's good.
So they're all coming back in now. This
is being recorded.
All right, so we are back, and I'm going to call in a couple because I've been waiting for this one all night, if people are willing. Chad is going to go first because he's Chad. And Chad, if people truly knew the real you, what would they understand?
That I care, which is probably ironic considering, the way I present, but, having gone through a lot of different struggles, which I think, myself and a lot of students that I've worked with, sometimes, that kind of like, you can overcome seems like a lack of empathy sometimes, right? But that's the one thing I really want folks to know is that, that though what seems like a lack of empathy in life struggle, it really is a deep belief in our ability to find joy in the struggle of life. And so I guess it's kind of a reframing. I think it's maybe one of the things that you did in one of your sessions, actually, is reframing, because I actually do care. And so that's what I want people to know.
Thank you. Awesome. Michelle Payne, are you there? Michelle. Well, Michelle,
yes, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Hello, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for talking to me. Now, you don't have to. I just wanted to hear your voice. But if you're willing, are you willing or no?
Sure.
All right. So if we knew if people truly knew the real you, what would they understand?
That I have feelings too. And I don't take care of myself like I should at times. And so I need to do better at that.
All right. So I'm curious. Do you feel that sometimes whether it's adults, kids are kids and their brain's not developed enough but you feel that way too with adults, that sometimes that your feelings aren't necessarily, I don't know, respected or observed, so to speak?
Yeah, I feel like they just come in maybe they catch a glimpse and they don't really give feedback or observe enough to form an opinion.
Okay. I don't think you're alone in that feeling. I truly don't. And I thank you so much for sharing that. I could go a lot deeper into that one with you. I have a feeling I know kind of where you're headed and what you're talking about. But as some others know, I know Lai Fang is here. She knows I'm only an email away. I'm not hard to find.
Okay.
I want to do one more.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Jennifer's driving. I won't do that. Stephanie, are you around? I've met you before. I know I've met Stephanie.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, Stephanie. You're not driving, are you?
My husband is. I'm in the car, but he's driving.
So you're safe. Okay. Stephanie, would you share or you rather not?
Sure.
So if people really knew the real you, what would they understand?
They would understand that I want to adopt all of the children in my classes who are in foster care or who have bad situations at home due to fertility issues that my husband and I had.
Okay. And that would explain why you want to do that and why your heart is in that capacity to do so. And that is awesome that you shared that. And I can't thank you enough. So thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Now I want to ask, he's there. Heather, are you around? Heather.
Yep, I'm still here.
Hi, Heather.
Unless there's another Heather.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure, absolutely.
How could this be beneficial? What is the point of this activity and how can it help you from an endurance perspective of thriving and moving forward? How could people really knowing where you're coming from be helpful?
Yeah, because I think that we're all afraid of what we're hiding. And by bringing it out into the open, we're able to move past it and be part of it and know where we're starting, as opposed to thinking, as someone put in the chat, teacher bots.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That the kids don't think, when they see you in the grocery store, it's like deer in the headlights. But if they knew that you were also struggling, they would be like, yes, that it's a person themselves.
And I know, and everyone has their own comfort levels. And there are people, heck, my wife's one of them, where your business is your business. Even if it would be helpful for people to know where they're coming from, they're not going to do it. And that's fine. It's everything that's your comfort level. My point is, I can only speak from mine. If you were in my school and you walk past me, your first superficial thoughts would be that I'm probably arrogant and I'm not approachable. But that's not fair, because if you understood the real me, you know why I am the way I am. And then maybe you would give me a chance. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
So I think that's why it's very important and helpful. All right. Now, we don't have to go anywhere far here. I just want to ask one person and be honest with me. I'll go back to Melissa because I see her and she's got her green on and she's repping St. Patrick's Day, which I'm not. So I'll ask Melissa, how difficult is it for you to share something that's truly personal about you, even though it could help other people get an understanding of you better?
I think maybe the first time you do it, it's scary. The more you practice and open up, I think it becomes easier and easier.
Okay. So you're not against it?
No, not against it at all. Obviously you can pick and choose what you want to share. You probably have, a lot of things you could share, but I guess probably what based on the students that you have, what would be a good thing to try to be a good role model for them. Like, hey, I've had this issue, but this is how I've come out of it. And
And I think it's also super important, and it ties well with what Chad was talking with the true colors, because when you know you're dealing with a gold and you're a neon orange, for example, you'll know there's going to be headbutts. It's the same with this. If you knew where people were coming from, and we actually stopped and slowed down a little bit and actually got to the heart of what people's core personality is, we'd understand so much more. And I just think it's good to be open if you're comfortable with it and letting people know where you're coming from. All right. So thank you guys for sharing there. Our last training session for tonight is fun isn't a 4-letter word. Be bold. I have said many times, when I did my first Ironman, I didn't overthink it. I told my wife in a pool in Harbor Springs, when I couldn't even swim 2 lengths of a pool, that I was doing Escape from Alcatraz the next April, because I wanted to. I didn't care that I couldn't swim far, and I didn't care that I didn't even own a bike. Those are all, be bold, just go. So that being said, what you would see here, just to save time, and this is your notebook, so you can always look at it, but really what this is saying is there's no doubt that we want to avoid cognitive decline. Our brain is like our biceps or our triceps or our chest or our leg muscles. It's a muscle. You either use it or you're going to lose it. And you either challenge it or it's going to dry up and it's not going to be as strong as it could be. One of the best ways to strengthen your brain is to try new things and to try things that you're not comfortable with. Doesn't mean you're going to be successful, and that doesn't matter. But to challenge the brain, to challenge the body, to challenge the mind, that keeps it vivacious. Okay, so basically that's what that says in there in that research. I just want to make sure that we're able to finish tonight, so I'm going to move us forward. But it's there for you in the notebook, because the notebook is yours. All right, I did an example here because you're going to be in a breakout, and the breakout is going to be a little longer. It's probably going to be about 7 minutes by the time we get to it. I really want you to work together and be bold together and dream big together. And I did an example. Pick anything that you guys teach, a concept. I talked to someone earlier about the Aztecs, and they're doing like ancient history with the Aztecs and Incas and whatnot. Put it in the middle. I did my example, Ender's Game novel. And then I want you to dream big. The outer circles, what are some ways that next year, because remember, this is our cool down. Next year, you could bring that learning experience even more to life. And doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you got to start somewhere and dream big, be bold. Just like I was bold and said, I'm doing this race, that's what you're doing. So some of my ideas, create a battle room tournament, because there's battle room in the novel, for review days. I did that. The kids loved it. Set up a Zoom Skype session with one of the actors. Didn't have any luck there, but I did get an actor from Hamilton. Had nothing to do with Ender's Game, but they came and talked to us. So, same concept, just different story. Bake battle school. Groups bake and decorate battle school cakes. Done that one too. They loved it. Create a YouTube channel for students to tutor each other and upload videos helping each other better understand the novel, because it is a hard novel. Didn't do that one, didn't get that one off the ground. Doesn't mean it wouldn't work, just means I didn't get to it. But I dreamt it, and it doesn't mean I won't do it next year. So whether it's whether it is the quadratic formula, or it's learning your sight words, or it's learning whatever, pick something to go in the middle. And then help each other dream big. And I would love if you could come up with 4 dreams, 4 bold ideas to try next year, whether or not you do 1 or 2 or 3 of them or none of them. I want you to at least dream. All right. So Chad, 7. This give them time to really help each other.
You got it. You got it. We'll do that. This is a great time to make these dreams, because it's right before spring break and we still got another school year, a little bit of school year to go. So this is the time to do it, because there's no pressure in the dream at this moment. So great time to start that dream. I will open that room right now in 3, 2, 1.
It'd be interesting.
Okay.
It'd be interesting from your perspective, from the union, what some dreams you guys have from the viewpoint that you have on education that you would love to see occur, even if you think it's impossible. What some of the things you guys would hope for or try to strive for?
Well, I'm working on it right now, actually, and what you're a part of right here is really part of that theory of the case, of that proof of concept. Where you can scale this peer sharing model more broadly and engage organizations across the state in that endeavor, and I think I think that's really kind of it. Is really just to elevate the individual, in a way that I think most folks didn't think that they could, right? Because usually there's somebody's got a fancier title, or more letters after their name, and as a consequence they should be the person
I've
leading
said
something.
often, your acronyms mean nothing to me because they don't equate to. You might be brilliant, you might be a great, but then again, it doesn't mean that you are either. It's just But what I love about it, I actually just I had a little bit of I'd say a cordial disagreement with one of the heads in our district, in our downtown offices, because I told him, I tell them about how I do all these presentations, not just for you, but on my own. And so, but yet I still am accountable for all these district provided PD hours when I'm doing more than everybody else anyway. And they were like, well, because, it's your employer and your boss, your employer says they provide these PD hours. And I said, that's fine. I said, but my employer also demands innovation in the classroom. And I said, your PD model is antiquated. Don't tell people what you think they need to know. You're not in their classroom.
Right.
And they have a choice here. They see it. If they're interested, they're here. If they're not, they don't. So
that's okay. Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Exactly.
I mean, just like now, the old staff meeting is antiquated. You don't need, you know what I mean? It shouldn't even exist anymore.
It never made sense, actually, but yeah. Well, I had the fortunate circumstance of being in a position of interacting with folks early in my career that had gigantic, like, national level titles, national, like this was back, during the George Bush years. Actually,
okay.
I was, because of what I was doing, I was working, with individuals, who were part of that, not on a political, well, they were part of the political level, but that wasn't really what I was there to do.
Okay.
But in any event, you realize that regardless of their title and wealth or prominence or whatever, they're just people. They're just people who, and I've met brilliant people, by the way.
Yeah.
But just because you have a title does not mean you're one of them.
No,
and I could contribute, like a young Chad Williams had something to offer in that space that ordinarily you'd be like, oh my God, you were like way out of your depth.
Yeah.
Not really. Yeah. So
I mean, I love that, sometimes people need to be reminded that, like you said, we're all made out of carbon. You're not that important, dude, or do that. But also, with that being said, that's also helpful in the classroom, though, empowering your students. I put my kids in charge of things all the time, and they love because they don't feel like they're they are the child, but in essence, there are things that they are fully capable of running the show with. They don't need me anyway.
And I am curious to know what they're going to do, which is the other part of it that, like, you have to have. If you're like, I am curious, like, they're going to come up with stuff like, I did not even think of that. Like, and I'm so excited and psyched that I was actually here to see that cool idea, because I'm going to remember it and, recycle
it. Well, that too, with that, the same thing what you're doing with these PD developments is the same in my class. I'll tell you, the best work I get back is when I open up choice theory. When they're physiologically interested in doing something intrinsically, they'll rock it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And that goes for any human being, but that's kind of what we're trying to do here, is my point.
One of the challenges, and we got 40 seconds till everybody comes back, Brian, just to let you know. One of the challenges, and I think this is one of the areas that educators are always kind of like, there's a tension, is like doing something that you know is highly impactful and engaging with students. That's on the one hand, and the kind of like the requirement to somehow to put a grade that will satisfy your administrative or state, reporting requirements, right? And to do that in a way that your workflow isn't, overwhelmed with the assessment part of it. And that's really like the nugget that I've been really focusing on is how to assess in a way that is authentic and really representative of true learning, right? Not a number on a scale as such. But
because then you could get in the argument. You tell me exactly that. I sometimes say it in like, what does that number even mean?
It means
what
nothing.
Is your A? Your A is this child's C. This kid busted his butt for a 75%. So tell him, what exactly does your letter really mean? But I'm not. That's a whole other. That's a whole other.
We can get into it. But everybody is back. See, you've come into this conversation as we're almost about to resolve all the educational conundrums and dilemmas.
Yeah.
But we'll just put that aside for a minute, and we'll come back to this. All right. They're all back, Brian. They're all back.
So I'm just curious, and like I said, this could be normally it would be a half-hour routine because we only have so much time. But I'm curious if Michelle, can I start with Michelle Ensing if she doesn't mind? If she doesn't want to, that's fine. Michelle.
Yeah.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good. All right, Michelle, I'm just curious, what was your middle bubble? I'm going to put my screen up here. There. What was your middle bubble?
I teach Algebra 2.
Okay. Dream big. What were some ideas that came up for any? That's big. When I say that, like, I teach language arts. That's why I picked one novel. Just putting Algebra 2 in the middle, you won't even know where to start. Concept.
That's exactly it. I think factoring is really hard for the kids. And so if I could dream big in factoring, I would find some amazing thing for them to do so that it would make it easier. But yeah, I'm not there yet.
Well, I'm math inept. Otherwise, I would try to, but break down factoring simple for me. Is that like 16 is 4 times 4? Is that factoring?
No, we're talking about major level, like 2-term factoring, 3-term factoring, 4-term factoring, which means grouping. It's a big concept.
Well, you may even start even smaller than that, but it could be in the summer, like you said, if that's your one thing, like for next year, if factoring is the one thing that you notice that they could use, maybe go all in on that one concept and just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see if anything sticks.
Yeah, one of the girls said, throw some minute to win it games in there, because I always tell the kids, it's not Algebra 2 that you're learning, it's life skills, it's problem solving, it's, knowing perseverance, knowing that you didn't think you could do it and you ended up doing it. Like, you're not going to learn. The question I get all the time, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to use this in my life? I don't know. I have no idea. But I know that you now have skills that you didn't think you had beyond math.
Well, that, and just quickly, I'm just spitballing here. If it's a super hard concept, make it a contest and put the kids in groups and have them give a TED talk, and the group that makes it make most sense, give them a cupcake. I don't know, but they have them do like a little TED talk, and you might be surprised that why didn't I think of, because it's coming from their perspective. They might come up with, you never know.
Right. I do always tell them, if you can teach it, if you can explain it, if you can talk to somebody about it, you know it.
Yeah. No, that's true. I agree. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you. Florina, since you're a rookie and you're new, I'm going to come back at you because some of these people I have picked on for 4 weeks now, 4 sessions now, I should say.
Where are you? For me, Floriana. Yeah, I'm Floriana. Sorry.
Yep, Floriana. Okay. So you were, if I remember right, ESL, is that, or ELL?
Yes.
Okay. So what's one concept that you teach that you could throw in the middle?
So I know we were kind of talking about concepts, but I can add into, but I really wanted to, I've been wanting to do pen pals for my students.
Okay.
Since I have an array of different languages spoken in the classroom, I always wanted to do that, but I've just for the past few years, I haven't had a chance to yet. So that's one thing I really want to do. And then for the life of me, my little small group cannot get short vowels down. I don't know why. Me and the lit consultant and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a language piece, but they cannot get their short vowels down. And I've taught a million different ideas at them. The lit consultant has, they just cannot retain it.
That's one that might be, it might not come yet. It might come to you in the summer. It might, who knows? I always, when all else fails for me, I go to two things. My video games, because I always use my video game videos that I make in class, or music, because they love both.
Yeah, my issue is I have a secondary ed degree.
Yep.
And I have a history major and social studies minor. And then I also have an ESL endorsement, but the endorsement is qualified for K through 12. I don't have an elementary ed degree. So, but I'm teaching at an elementary school, which is fine because I love the kids. I love them, but I don't have the background as say, an elementary ed teacher would have. So I'm learning as I'm going. I love the kids.
We all are.
Motivating me, but it's a struggle.
We all are. We're all every day we are. Well, there's a cool little, you can get it free for a trial period. If you are, it doesn't matter if they're kindergartners or in college, whether they make up a rap, a nursery rhyme, a song, it's called Soundtrap, and have them make their own little simple music file about short vowel sound or anything about it.
Yeah, it seems to be like they just even watching my mouth.
Yeah,
they say no, it looks the same. Your mouth sounds are all the same.
So they'll just like there's a reader is one book away from finding that book, and their time they're going to get it. It might not be what we want. They'll get it.
Yeah,
but
thank
you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Sure, thanks.
All right. Well, I got to skip that because I see our time. You always have a training commitment at the end, and I'm going to show you what's in your notebook that I'd love for you to look at without me. Not that I can ever check, but I'm going to show it to you. Your commitment is, when possible, put yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's not just for us. I would take that around the entire world. I think as a species, we need to start doing that a lot more. Share. If you're open to it, let others know what you're truly about. It's your life, and you can let in what you want and keep out what you want. But, people won't really know the true you unless you share what you're about. And finally, be bold in something, whether, in your classroom. What are you waiting for? We only get one shot at this anyway. It's not a sitcom. Go get it. And if it fails, whatever, you at least tried. I've failed at so many things, and I don't care, because at some of them I succeed. But what I'd love you to look at, and Chad, this is back here, this ruler looking thing. If you've been with me for all of them, those are all your workouts. You are a graduate, and you are going to promise me, not that I can ever validate it, that you are going to pick one. I'm only asking for one. And of the 12 workouts that we've done together, or if this was your first time you were with me, you got 3 workouts to choose from. But I want you to truly think to yourself, what is going to be your focal starting point for your endurance future? And I'm not talking about running 26 miles. I'm talking about life as a human and life as a teacher in education. And I really want you to pick one and get really good at it. Don't do a bunch of them, half-heartedly. Pick one that you really can rock and get better at, and it will be helpful for you, and do it. That is your graduate promise. And I'll never know if you do it, but I'm going to trust you. All right, Chad. Well, you guys, I always thank you for your time, especially on this beautiful night. I can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out with me, and maybe one day we'll meet again.
Thank you so much, Brian. And thank you everybody for joining us on this series. You've reached the end of this series. If you really enjoyed what we did here, tell your colleagues about it, and let them know that, professional learning can be interactive. It can be fun. It can be engaging. We're really trying to grow this concept. And if you are interested in contributing to this kind of professional learning, just like Brian, Brian's just over there in Rochester, coming to you live. He's just a guy, he's a gregarious, engaging guy, but just a guy. It could be you too. And I would love to see if you would be interested in doing the same thing. So with that being said, I hope you have a good night. Feed yourselves, feed your children, feed that pet. And, I hope you have a great night. And I will see you all back here real soon. Thank you, everybody.
Take care, you guys.
All right, Brian, let me stop recording here.